We know what's right with Tommy DeVito. He's getting it done. He's not jeopardizing Daniel Jones' job. He's a fully guaranteed contract next year, but he's taking Tyrod Taylor's job. That's clear. Brian Daboll says it every week. Tommy DeVito's earned the right to keep playing. He can run. He can throw. He's got that moxie, as Coach Garrett likes to call it. He does. There's a confidence to it. It's fun. It's fun. This is a Giants team that has taken a lost season and made it fun. Last night was fun. There's no reason to go to that game. There's no reason to get excited about it. I mean, they're not mathematically eliminated, but come on. They made it fun last night, and they took out a team that had found itself in the playoff hunt. They were in the 7th spot going into that game, and the Giants took them out with that last-second field goal after all sorts of weird stuff. We'll break it all down. Weird turn of events late in the game when it felt like the Giants are firmly in control, and then all of a sudden they're not. The Packers are, and the Giants pulled it off. That was just fun. That was the more fun. Both games were great, but to me, that was the more fun one to watch.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that. I don't know. I mean, they were both fun to watch in their own way, I guess. But I just really love the way that
one's got to be more fun than the other. More fun. Both fun, more fun.
Okay.
It could be a tie,
right.
I guess.
Yes, it could.
Ties aren't fun.
Tie for me. Well, it's like kissing your sister, which I don't know anything about. I don't have a sister. Anyway, I think that Tommy DeVito played well. You know, I love the way he played on that last drive. The ball placement to Robinson on that one throw was outstanding. You really can't throw that ball much better than that because it allowed him the opportunity to not just catch it, but catch it and run. And when you have those kinds of things happen, that's what then sets up the game-winning field goal. So I think that there are good things to say about Tommy DeVito. You know, he's playing within himself. He's playing well within the structure of the offense. And then when he has to, like he does right here, he gets out of structure and makes a dime throw to the back right corner of the end zone. That's a very, very tough throw to make. So I just like the way he's playing. I think that the Giants have some good things to feel about themselves now. And also, they're not completely out of it. You know, if they keep winning, if they somehow can beat the Eagles, because they play the Eagles twice in the span of 3 weeks coming up here, then we might still be talking about the Giants, you know, going into week 18. But I don't know that that's going to happen. However, stranger things have happened in the NFL. So right now, yeah, let's feel good about Tommy Cutlets. Let's feel good about what he's putting out there on the field because he's helping the Giants win.
I mean, 5-8 doesn't get you on the graphic yet for in the hunt, but if you keep winning, you play your way onto the graphic, and then you play your way into postseason eligibility. But you're right. Along the way, they're going to have to sweep the Eagles, not just win one of those. They've got no margin for error at 5-8. Because 8 and 9 isn't going to get you in. 9 and 8 gets you a chance. That means you got to win the next 4. But you know what? The Bears are in that boat too. They're feeling good about themselves. They got to win the next 4. So, but it makes it fun. The NFL, and this goes back to Pete Rozell's vision for what the game should be. When the Steelers and the Dolphins and the Raiders and the Cowboys ruled the league and everybody else was just like, why are we even here? Pete Rozell wanted parity. He wanted as many teams to be alive for as long as possible into the season, and that's the key. You know, I say this from time to time. You may have heard it before, but you're going to hear it again. The owners who say, we just want to win the Super Bowl, that's all we want to do. Okay, what they really want to do is be relevant after Thanksgiving. If you're relevant into December, if your team is still in it, if your team is still interesting, your stadium is full. And people say to me, well, if the tickets are sold out, why do they care if the stadium's half empty? Because they got other stuff to sell. High-margin items like $10 popcorn. They got a lot of stuff they got to move. And they got a lot of people who are going to be there working anyway. They're paying them to be there. They may as well be doing something other than standing around saying, gee, where's everybody today? So they want the stadiums to be full. And you got to coax people out of their homes in the Northeast in December and January. You got to give them extra reason to show up for those games. The more teams that are fun and interesting and still kind of floating around and hanging around, and that's where we are this year. There's only a small handful of teams right now that you look at and say, there's no reason to go to the game. Panthers, Patriots, Cardinals, Commanders. They're the ones who are done. Everybody else, you could still convince yourself this could be fun. This could be interesting. And last night's games underscore. You know, as people are trying to figure out the week before Christmas, I'm going this Sunday, I don't really want to go. Yeah, I don't really want to. Hey, look at what happened Monday night. Anything can happen. We could have fun. That's what it's all about. That's why it's here. That's why people pay attention to it. It has nothing to do with their lives other than it provides a diversion from the things in their life that aren't fun. And this is fun. And last night was fun. And what made it almost not fun for the Giants, and this was odd, Saquon Barkley, with that run that he ripped off late in the fourth quarter, when the Giants are trying to put the nail in the coffin for the Green Bay Packers, and it just felt like it's happening. There goes Saquon. And like that, this is it. You know, you're up 5, field goal or a touchdown ends it, and he falls down. The ball comes out, and everybody's like, what in the world's going on? And this is why you got to keep chasing. You got to keep after the ball. Don't assume the play's over. He hit the ground without being touched. Now, he had been tripped up, but he regathered himself before he tripped and fell. I think you could have made the argument that it all goes back to that effort to trip him, but, 4 or 5 steps. Like, at what point have you taken enough steps that you're no longer down by contact if you fall? He wasn't down by contact. He hit the ground. The ground can cause the fumble if you haven't been touched. He didn't give himself up. Ball was out. It was a good call, and Packers take full advantage of it, take the lead, and then the Giants do that. It's just amazing. The momentum swings late in that game. The Giants get the ball back, and Tommy DeVito leads them down for the game-winning field goal that I wanted to see on my main TV, but I saw it at the corner of my other TV. But that's settled business.
We covered that.
The business at hand.
Yes.
The Giants pull it off. They get to 5-8, and it really, really throws a wrench into what the Packers were trying to do. Giants making chicken salad out of their, or chicken parm as the case may be, out of their situation with Tommy DeVito. 3 straight wins for him, 158 yards passing, but timely and clutch throws. Creative offense, blending the run and the pass, 17 for 21, high completion percentage. Their offense just did what it needed to do. It was efficient. It wasn't the greatest show on earth or turf or whatever, but it ended up being good enough. Let's hear a little from Brian Daboll, coach of the Giants, after the game on Tommy DeVito's latest performance.
3rd game of over 100 quarterback rating. Made good decisions, took care of the ball, used him in the run game. Just keep developing him. He's improving. Still got stuff to work on, but like I said 2-3 times last week, I think he's a young player that's doing the right things, making the most of his opportunity. Earned the right to play today, and he earned the right to play the next week. Kid's done a good job.
He has, and he's supplanted Tyrod Taylor, who is eligible to play, but Brian Daboll's made it clear that Tommy DeVito will continue to keep playing. 3 straight wins, and who knows what it means for the future. If he's ever going to be the starter, is he going to be the starter of the Giants one of these days? I don't know. Daniel Jones, still contractual commitment for next year. The story isn't nearly as good if he's not playing for the Giants. The story, if he ends up landing the starting job with Seattle or something, I mean, it's not nearly as good as it is if it's happening in New Jersey. So it is kind of a fun story. I've been struggling with how to address this. It's something that makes my son uncomfortable. Well, the whole Italian thing. Like, we're the only group that can still be mocked without anyone being in fear of cancellation. That's just kind of the way the world has evolved over the years. My son, like, when they're doing the whole playing the music and doing this on ESPN, this isn't a criticism of ESPN. This is a comment on just kind of like the way things are right now. There's a line between having fun and making fun. There's a line between having fun and making fun. There's a line between celebrating and mocking. Yes. And at times it feels like this stuff's on the wrong side of the line. When the Italian accent is the only thing that anyone on SNL can break into, and they did a bit about this last year where they had somebody come up doing out the Italian accent because that's the only one you can do anymore. Like I don't know how this came to be. I don't make the rules. I just try to understand what they are. But there is this thing where it's kind of okay to goof on the Italians. I feel like this whole Tommy DeVito thing straddles the line. The problem is his whole family pulls everyone to the wrong side of the line because they revel in the caricature.
That's how you throw to me?
To that, do you?
That's how you throw to me? What are you doing? What am I supposed to say to that?
You don't have to say anything. You don't say anything.
I don't know what to say.
I just felt like I felt like as somebody who is 98+% Italian, it needs to be said. It's just a weird thing. As an Italian, it's a weird thing. It's like, are they celebrating us or are they mocking us? And my son kind of last night was like, is it a joke here? Like, the guys on Pardon My Take do it. Are they celebrating or are they kind of mocking a little bit? At times it feels like it's mocking. But there isn't anything we can do about it. Because for whatever reason, and look, Myles, I mean, at the end of the day, there was they dragged us over from Europe to work in the coal mines. Oh, the streets are lined with gold. The only problem is you don't get to walk on them. You go 5,000 feet underground to dig the coal, and you're going to make this steel, and you're going to do all the stuff nobody here wants to do. And there, plenty of groups, as we know, have been discriminated against over the years, and plenty of groups have had it far worse than the Italians have. I understand that, but at the same time, there's just this weird lingering vibe. It's just weird in this day and age. There's this weird lingering vibe that it's confusing to me. And there's a line between celebrating and mocking. That's my point. It's just strange. There's something strange about it.
Okay, yes, and I hear you on that, and I kind of agree. But when you got Tommy DeVito doing this as a celebration, I mean, I feel like in that way it's not mocking, because he's presenting it himself, and
because he's doing. I know,
celebration,
I know.
And
I know.
That to me, we are celebrating with him because he is so public with the motion, right? And that's his celebration. And so if it's kind of like, and it's not exactly like, because there's no other connotation to this, but like when Johnny Manziel would do this and he's like talking about money, right? Like that was his celebration in much the same way that Tommy DeVito is doing this, but there was no Italian connotation, right, with the Johnny Manziel money thing. But that's the way I think of it, but as it's going on with Tommy DeVito right now.
It's a strange dynamic because some Italians, we as Italians, as in the celebration becomes the basis for what can stray toward mocking. It's more nuanced than we can digest on a Tuesday morning. And again.
It is.
But there's just something weird there. And my son mentioned it last night. It wasn't something I thought of because I've kind of processed and dealt with it, and I don't really care. It's not. I mean, the Italians left Italy and Sicily because it was horrendous there. They chose to leave. Now, did the Italians who arrived in the United States get what they thought they were getting? No, but it's still better than what they left. They chose it. We're getting out of here. It's bad. But, it's just a lot. It's just there's something there. And there's a line. And I just wonder if there is a line. I don't know. I'm just raising that question. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.